So I think it is a safe statement to say that generally speaking, people enjoy free stuff, especially when it is quality. And what is interesting is in the Nintendo Switch era of gaming, there is actually an overwhelming list of free software titles that can be downloaded from the eShop right now. And in today's video, I want to boot up 5 different free titles together and share my initial gameplay impressions, as well as make some recommendations on whether or not you might want to check out these free eShop games right now. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we are looking at 5 different free software that is available right now on the Nintendo Switch eShop, and if you're unfamiliar with how to find it, you can simply hop into your eShop, do the search, browse, and then actually go by price range in terms of how you want to sort the games, and just very quickly at the bottom, scroll all the way down to where it says free, and you can then view more and see the list of free titles. You can even sort them from like oldest to newest, but I would leave it in best sellers as you kind of get an idea of what is the most popular. So in case if you weren't familiar with an easy way to sort it to all free software, that is how you will do it. And with that, we will hop into our first game. Now, first up on our list today is Super Kirby Clash, and this is one that I honestly forgot about, as it's a free-to-play Kirby game that I just never got around to checking out, and it's not half bad. I've just played a couple of the boss fights at this point in time. You do level up your character as you go. Of course, Kirby gets stronger. Now, any of these free-to-play type of games, they will have kind of like a gem system and heavy on the customization side normally. You can customize Kirby, get new kind of like item, armor, all that good stuff. You have story quest and party quest. Party quest probably being really what this is mostly aimed for, and this unlocks after you do 2 of the story boss fights, but you essentially have the option to play online with friends, locally with multiple switches, or up to 4 people on one switch, which I can see being the most compelling part of this game, because just me playing it on my own, while enjoyable, I would definitely prefer to have, you know, a few different friends around, and you can even do different roles apparently in this, which is pretty cool. But we will set off here. You can change out your teammates, customize them, what you want them to focus on and things like that. And you'll see some of the gameplay, as some of it is RPG-esque in the way that the damage hits as you're attacking the boss and things. But really what this plays more like is like a button masher beat 'em up style, which with just a little bit of strategy in there. You definitely have to, you know, be aware of where you're jumping. When I saw this game, I definitely thought of this as more of a Smash Bros style gameplay experience, which I guess it is akin to that in a lot of ways, but it is also it feels very different than Smash Bros. So don't expect this to feel like Smash Bros if you do end up playing it. It's definitely leans more into timely mechanics and jumps and things. And then, you know, you kind of get an idea of when the boss is going to do something crazy. And I'm sure they get quite a bit harder later on, because so far these bosses haven't been just too terrible. And of course I say that as I'm like in like crazy damage, taking crazy damage this time around, which I'm curious too. They may actually have scaled the bosses with the amount of players that you have, because I definitely seem to die quite a bit quicker, which I'm pretty sure I am back now. Yes, I am. There's definitely a lot going on screen with 4 people. So one thing I noticed before is we had 2 people in the first match and then 3 in the second one. And it was definitely a little bit easier to keep track of what's going on. Now there's also these ice gem type pieces on screen, where if we get all 3 or 4, I'm assuming this time around, you get one giant team-based attack that you're about to see right now, actually perfect timing, where you essentially just have to try to line up on that pendulum style swing to get the maximum amount of damage and get as close as that as possible. And then you get a nice little cutscene animation, again very RPG-esque, and normally the boss will be stunned here for quite a while, which you want to do, you know, some kind of charge attack. So I can see, depending on how the boss fights are later on in the game, I can see this being a very enjoyable one. And if you do really get into the customization and upgrade path on things, and maybe you have friends that play with you online or locally, this would be one that's worth having on your radar as a free-to-play game right now in the Nintendo Switch eShop. Now, next up on our list is Elder Scrolls Blades, which is actually a pretty large, you know, if you know Elder Scrolls, you know Skyrim and all that stuff. Of course, this is more of a mobile attempt at that, but I downloaded this on my phone when it first came out a while back. I really couldn't get too into it, and to be fair, I'm not the biggest Elder Scrolls fan out there to begin with, but I will tell you guys that one of the big things for mobile is the swipe controls really just do not work for me. I get, you know, disengaged very fast for whatever reason. I always prefer to play games with a controller in hand. Even a lot of the reason I had somewhat of a problem with the Wii generation of gaming, not wanting to do forced motion for everything. But I will tell you that I do think that this might be worth looking at, for considering it's free and how much content they're actually they have included in this game, because from my understanding, it's been a pretty large ongoing roadmap of updates. And of course, you know, the goal is to get you to spend money with this title, so don't expect everything to be all included in the base game. Normally you have to put in quite a bit of time if you want to get the same kind of results or content, if it's even there at all, in these free-to-play type games. But I did think that this was one interesting, especially if you are maybe more of a hardcore Skyrim fan, because it while it's not Skyrim by any means, it definitely feels, you know, somewhat akin to that. And while you can tell that like the motions on screen are designed for swipe input control, that's essentially mapped to your ZR and ZL triggers on the Pro controller. And we got some good loot here, and of course, you know, typical Elder Scrolls story layout here. I'm on a quest. I talked to somebody that says, you know, you need to go bring back this potion from this castle area. We're gonna fight multiple enemies along the way, probably level up in different skills. So if you know what to expect from an Elder Scrolls title, you will know what to expect from Elder Scrolls Blades. But I do think that this one may be worth checking out if you are an Elder Scrolls fan, and it is free on the Nintendo Switch eShop. And even if you're not much of a mobile game player like me, maybe that controller and the changed kind of combat layout and how they actually assigned the controls to the controller may make the big difference for you. Granted, when a game is designed for mobile play, I will tell you, it feels like it's designed for mobile. So keep that stuff in mind. But, you know, in worst case scenario, you waste some of your some of the internet download if you're on a data cap plan like I am, which is ridiculous. But some internet providers do have a hard data limit, so you might waste some of that. But outside of that, you're not wasting any money to check out Elder Scrolls Blades on the Nintendo Switch. Another one to keep on your radar. Now, third on our list today is a racing game known as Asphalt Legends, and I'm not typically the biggest racing game player out there, but I gotta tell you guys, I am extremely impressed just out of playing the tutorial and kind of looking at really the graphical fidelity for this game running on the Nintendo Switch and just being a free available download, as well as some nice mechanics like the drift feels really good in this racing game. It's definitely not like a super realistic racing simulator as I proceed to crash into the wall there, but one that, you know, I think is pretty cool. And you can tell you can do tricks. You can do boosts and get all types of little bit of a cruising vibe going on, but you know, a little bit less or more realistic than cruising, less realistic than you know, something like a Gran Turismo, obviously. But again, graphics, reflections, everything in terms of just fun enjoyment in a racing game. I'm really reasonably impressed with this title being free to play. Now, will it be a cash grab type game? Absolutely. Just out of the tutorial, you start unlocking stuff left and right. They want you to get hooked into your cars, get customization options going and things like that. But it seems like there's a lot of gameplay and fun to be had with, even without spending any money. And so whether you're a racing fan, somebody who plays occasionally, I think for a free-to-play title on the Switch that looks this good, and it's native, this is not cloud or anything like that, because that would definitely be a big deterrent of playing this game for me if it was cloud, because those just, they lag. I'm not a fan. I wish cloud gaming, I mean, I know it's got uses, but it's just the technology is not there yet, in my opinion. But this is not one of those, and this one looks really nice. It also makes me wonder, you know, maybe what's possible for the future of you know, racing titles on the Switch, especially if this is running on something like a Pro. I mean, granted, racing games are kind of known for, you know, kind of being the graphics leaders in certain cases. And I definitely like some of the crazy collision stuff going on here too. Like, as you can tell, I literally just wrecked that car, kind of having a back and forth. Like this is one that I wasn't really expecting this style of gameplay when I downloaded it. So pleasantly surprised with Asphalt Legends. And I would just say, if you like racing games at all, at least give this one a download on the Nintendo Switch eShop for free right now. Now, this one should be a foregone conclusion. If you're not playing Fall Guys on your Nintendo Switch for free, well, then what are you doing? Because clearly this is a ton of fun and a game that really, you know, I mean, 60 different players you're playing with online. They pulled it off to where this not only runs on the Nintendo Switch, seems to hold up pretty nicely. Definitely notice some menu lag and things, and you can see some characters dropping frames, but you're playing in the same world, cross-play with consoles like the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and all that good stuff. So I think that's a rather impressive feat. And of course, you're talking about 60 plus players, battle elimination style, make it to the end. A lot of fun. Just one of those games that anybody can pick up and play. Very basic platforming elements, which I just absolutely messed up, and we'll have to figure out if I can recover or not. You may be witnessing me fail on screen here, and I'm also not familiar with the newer levels because I stopped playing this a while back in whenever it came out on the PS4, right in like the heyday of it. Got super into it, and since then I've not really revisited it in a big way. Even picked up the Steam copy so that way I could play it on the PC when I was traveling once upon a time. But really enjoyed this game for what it had to offer, and now it's on the Switch. You can play it portably, and again, you're not really losing anything other than some visual quality, textures and some reflections and maybe some frames. You're getting the same exact gameplay experience as you would on the other consoles because you're playing with that same huge large community of players. So 60 plus in a battle royale elimination style experience, and of course you keep battling it out until you get to the end of it. So I won't spend a lot of time on this one because if you don't know what Fall Guys is, well, I don't know where you've been at, but this was a huge win for the Nintendo Switch and for free on the eShop right now. Now finally closing out our list today, you could almost argue is a demo of sorts, but Chocobo GP Racing actually has a light version available, which is separate from a demo. It's literally called Chocobo GP Racing Lite, and how much content this game has to offer, who knows. It is definitely a Mario Kart style inspired game, and you have to hand it to Mario Kart, honestly, just for having the smoothest feeling mechanics and really far superior to this. But if you're just a big fan of kart racers, well, this one plays pretty nicely. And it's also, I know there's going to be, I think this is like really the first stage. Not gonna lie, one of the most frustrating tutorials I've ever been a part of, because if you don't do everything exactly how they tell you to do it, they make you restart from the beginning, and it's also like there's flash text box popping up to kind of throw you off. It's not a good time on the tutorial. I really wish they would have thought that through. And apparently that whole time I had a power up that I did not even realize. So one that, considering it's free, like just to close off our list with the kart racer, I think is notable. And if you're tired of Mario Kart, which you shouldn't be if you have the Booster Course Pass Wave 2 right now, because those are all freaking fantastic tracks. But if you want something different to play that is a kart racer also, but you don't want to spend money, because I saw this at a Nintendo Direct quite a while back and got pretty pumped for it, and it came out and just wasn't quite compelled enough to pick it up. And to my surprise, scrolling through that list today, found out that they did indeed have a free version. So we will see, as time goes on, whether or not, this game gains more of a fan base. I don't see many people talking about it, but hey, there is a free-to-play version of it on the Switch eShop right now that you can hop into and at least check it out, see if you like the mechanics, see if it's something that you'd want to get more into the online aspects of things. And I think that the main game is something like $50, but this light version is available and you could at least check it out right now and maybe wait for a sale on this one, in my opinion. Not saying it's a bad kart racer, but gosh dang it, Mario Kart definitely holds the crown when it comes to that, kind of like Smash Bros does with fighting games. But at this point in the video, guys, I want to hear from you personally on your top free eShop titles. Which ones did I miss off today's list? Clearly there's a ton of software in the eShop. It's very hard to keep up with, so let me know which other ones I should check out, either in a future video or just for my own personal playtime. And also share with me whether or not you're planning on picking up any of the games that we did go over in today's list. So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch the weekend video next if you haven't already, where we boot up what I consider to be the ultimate Legend of Zelda gaming console experience in 2022, and a discussion of what you need to do before it's too late if you want to create the same thing. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.